Good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing?
Good.
Ali.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hello.
Sorry about that. I've been on a number of Zooms recently, and for some reason, my computer audio is not working. And I'm sure it's just a setting, and I'm sure Alicia's going to have to come over here and fix it for me. But until then, I have joined by phone. And so that's what we're going to do. I did it yesterday, and it worked out fine. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
Good? All right. So first things first, we have some guests and some new participants in our call right now. So let's Cherie Sullivan, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
It's nice to meet you. We haven't actually spoken yet on the phone or otherwise. And I left you a voicemail yesterday, and you are a new mentee in our group. So, and our group right now consists of officially 11 agents. So welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. And we're looking forward to bringing you into our community and to supporting you and to, learning about what some of your goals are, why real estate and all those things. So I would like to get to that, but I first wanted to welcome you. And I'd like to move over to Ali. Ali, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Welcome to our mentorship. And Ali's just new and joining us, and I understand you're newly licensed as well, right?
Yes, as of November.
As of November, cool. And I know your EXP sponsor pretty well, Sarah Vera. She is a wonderful agent, and she's going to be an awesome source for you. And Cherie as well. You have Tatiana as well as Thomas, and they're going to be an awesome source for you. And when we're doing this, when we're launching your guys' career, the mentorship officially is your first 3 transactions, okay? And as we're doing this, one of the reasons I took my mentorship from 1 or 2 agents. It was 1 for a long time, then it was 2, and then now it's 11, right? One of the reasons I did that, it was intentional, and it was to create community, okay? We all need community. And right now, this community right now is on Zoom, and it's also on Workplace, and it's also sometimes in text messages between different agents that are getting to know each other within our community. So part of your community, Cherie, am I saying your name correctly? Cherie?
Yep, that's perfect.
Cherie, okay. Part of your community, Cherie, is Tatiana and Thomas Myers, okay? They need, and I've talked with Thomas about this, but they will be intimately involved in your growth as well as me, in a formal capacity, me, because EXP has asked me to mentor you. And in also a formal capacity, Tatiana and Tom. And then in an informal capacity, the people you see on the Zoom call and some of the people that are not on the Zoom call will also be involved in your growth, okay? So we're all here to help each other. The good thing about this group is kind of everybody's kind of in about the same spot, right? Everybody, you know, a lot of people here want to be realtors and or they are realtors, rather they want to be productive realtors. They want to be what we call, as in the business, we call it in production. What's it mean to be in production, right? So, and there's a lot to it, and we'll get into some of that. So the last person I want to say hi to is Heather Waller. How are you, Heather?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Heather is actually a guest of ours today. Heather, are you, you're licensed, but your license is not active. Am I correct there? Okay.
Yeah, I got my license in 2018, but it's not with a broker currently.
Okay, no worries. And you are looking at the EXP model as a whole, and you are looking at our mentorship program. So welcome. You're invited to listen in here and also participate. But Heather was invited by Sarah Peacock, and I've known Sarah for many years. Well, that's a lot of many. I've known her for maybe 6 years. Okay, so but you know, we're good friends and talk about another just great realtor who serves her clients at such a high level and is going to be a great. You know, if you choose to join EXP and you choose to join us, you'll be in this group, and Sarah will be there for you, and she'll be helping you, and I'll be helping you, and this community will help you as well. So at EXP, what's unique about us is we don't have offices, right? We don't have a physical office. Now, if you watch some of the promo stuff, it's going to say that you have access to 3,000 different Regus offices, right? So now, I don't have a Regus office that's in Brandon, Florida, or Riverview. There's a couple in like New Tampa. So we have to create our own community, and we're doing that digitally now. And then we do it in other ways too, right? We do it non-digitally. We're going to try to get together, and this pandemic has kept us apart a bit. Also, one of the other reasons this Zoom call works is people have other jobs. There's a lot of people that are going to have full-time jobs while they're getting their career launched. And does it make a lot of sense to bring everybody into one location for a 1-hour training once a week? Maybe not. But should we be getting together, you know, so that we can have more of a human connection, and we need to do that safely and make sure we're doing that and grow together? Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking forward to doing both. I want to make sure there's nobody. Oh, there's Melissa. So so welcome everybody, and thank you for being here. We've got and then just so we know, Alicia Galdams is the marketing coordinator for our team. She is an official graduate of the EXP mentorship program, and then she got hired by our team to both help us with our sales business as well as help coordinate our mentorship. So. And we're thanking Alicia for leading this call last week, because Doug was up to his eyeballs in Mayaca and Lakewood Ranch horse property at this time last week. So, and Laura McCoy, we had lunch together last week because we ended up in Lakewood Ranch, and Laura was in Lakewood Ranch. Yep, that was awesome. So just so you know, Laura, my buyers, the nice ladies that you met, they kept talking about like the car was very chatty all day. And as soon as we had those Bloody Marys, I mean, it was like everyone was half asleep. And she said, my client said, you must have had a heavy hand with that Bloody Mary.
Yes,
is that accurate?
Yes, I did a nice heavy pour on the Bloody Mary.
A nice heavy pour. Right. We feel very special. So we feel very special. So thank you, Laura, for hosting us, and thank you for when my client forgot their raincoats at the table, you called me and ran out to the parking lot and said, "Don't forget your raincoat." So it was just nice to have that, and it was nice for them to see that stuff. So,
Awesome.
and then we got what's that?
I said that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to ski at the Esplanade.
Yeah, it was really cool that it just worked out, and that was fun. It was a great place to eat outside and everything. So really cool. So if you're ever in Esplanade, make sure you send Laura a text and say, are you around? I need a heavy hand for my drink. And so and then Nick McKeon, nice to see you again. Nick and I are working on a lot of things together. Nick is getting in production. He's a hustler. He likes to stay in the shadows, a little bit. He's not into the ring light. He would not be into the ring light. He likes to be, sometimes like on 60 Minutes or something, somebody wants to hide their identity. That would be Nick McKeon. He wants to hide his identity, keep it really in the shadows in the back, and just keep everyone guessing. And that's his style. And then Alicia and Melissa, they're just going to black their screens out and not let anybody see them, because I don't know why. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they didn't do their makeup. I don't know. I don't know their story. So
I didn't want to have you guys look at me, chewing on my food.
Oh,
I don't have curtains yet.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm just poking fun. Melissa, how are you doing?
Oh, there you go. I'm doing okay. Not too shabby.
Very good. Very good. And you and Alicia got some time to spend some time last week together, and you got to some. I understand that you guys went over some marketing things, huh?
Yeah, a few, I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Thanks for being here, everybody. What do we have planned today? That's a good question. I think where we probably should start. Okay, let me do this. Laura McCoy, Nick McKeon, Melissa, you are three active and involved mentees that you have been in our group for a few months. What can I do to help you today? You guys have questions that you brought. Are you struggling with anything? Do you have any success stories that you'd like to share? Please don't be afraid. Please, it's open right now. This is our time, right? Doug's busy. Doug's as busy as he's ever been in his life. Doug has 4 kids. One of them's 3 months old. I have 11 mentees, and it's been crazy. So this is my hour and a half, whatever it turns into for you guys. And because I didn't catch up with you last week, I want to know what's going on in your world, and I want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, Laura, you're ready to talk. I can tell.
I'm ready to go. Okay, so I started doing the CRM Boomtown with Ryan. So at first I'm more of an in-person talker, but the idea of honestly cold calling is kind of a little, different. So I had to overcome that fear. And I was at first not really doing anything and watching the concierge take over. And then I started making phone calls. So I'm actually talking to people on the phone. Some of them are a fluke, but I'm learning how to use that. So that's going well. And then the other thing I actually did today was I called my bank, Suncoast, and I was trying to get pre-approved for me to buy a second home that we could kind of flip. So they did the breakdown of, 150,000, 200,000, 250, and 300,000. So that just kind of got the wheel going. I definitely need more money for that, but that's kind of what I got going on. And I want to have a strong income. So I work 5 days a week, at the Esplanade. And honestly, we did lost some staff. That's why I've been kind of working some weird hours, and I had family stuff. But I want, whenever I get approved for a home, to have a strong income. So we're in high season right now. So we just paid off our kitchen and bathroom that we remodeled in our home, because I'm interested in doing stuff like that. So that's where I'm kind of at. I'm I'm really trying to take off in the lead generation, Boomtown thing. It's going well. I'm still having to rewatch some of the videos on the email drip and stuff like that, just getting used to doing that and making time to do my calls no matter what. I'm stepping up my game. I'm doing it before I have to go to work. Who cares? I have to be there at 9:30, do it on the way there, make the time. I'm doing it after work. Oh, I got to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. This person can only be in the middle of the day. You got to do it. So for me, it's been really conquering that fear of like, I'm changing careers, so I have to do things differently to be successful.
Yep.
And it's
Exactly.
true. If you don't try now and do now, it won't show up later. So I know I haven't, I have to get there, but that's what I'm working on, I guess.
Okay. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. A few things. So let's talk about, you talked about your income and the, you buying your next investment property. First of all,
Yep.
Did you connect with Thomas?
No, I do need to do that. Shame on Laura. I did not do that yet. I need to do that. Yep. Shame
Okay.
on- Yep. Thomas and
So,
Tati.
okay, shame on Laura. So what happened the last time we had a phone call?
I didn't have volume with you and it went kind of not good. But
You didn't have what?
I couldn't hear you. You could hear me, but I couldn't hear you.
Okay. How about the time before that?
The time before that, I don't know.
Well, we did a call, and I learned something about you,
Okay.
and that I didn't know. I learned about your desire to want to get into home renovations and home flipping, possibly, right?
Yes.
You got your real estate license. That's a kind of a natural fit, and you've got the drive to do it, and now you've even approached your bank. So not only are you talking about it, but you're taking action steps on it. And when I learned that about you, so say this was what, 3 weeks ago or whatever,
That's why
I said, hey, guess what? Thomas Myers, who's actually Cherie's sponsor, he's doing this. He's actually doing this right now, and he's really passionate about it. And I made a phone call for you, and I said, hey, Thomas, there's, this great person in EXP, blah, 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 blah. So I know you just said shame on Laura, but like when I reach out to somebody and I say, hey, Laura's going to call you, she needs some help, and this is not a place where I'm an expert, but I'd like you to step in and make a connection. Now 3 weeks has gone by, and you're a little bit less important to him, and you're okay. So follow up.
Yep.
How about that?
Done deal.
Okay.
Well,
I don't mean to shame you in front. I know we got a little crowd that's not. Follow up.
yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. Good for you on the prospecting. Okay. You're calling. Okay. So let's tell everybody. Ryan Brantley brought you in the EXP. She was your realtor when you bought your house, right? She is a fantastic agent as far as somebody to learn from. She has been on teams. She has been doing this for a long time. She grew up in the area. So, and Ryan has a platform that she pays for with her own money. And since you guys are going to be working together, she is bringing you into the fold and helping you. So there is something that's very real called call reluctance. It's when, your palms get sweaty and you don't know what to say and all this stuff, but you're supposed to call this person, and there's just a 10-digit phone number right there in front of you, And it's funny what happens to, our body when we have some resistance around that. So that's kind of what you're experiencing, and not every day is perfect and not every call is perfect, but you're doing the right things. You are going to have to talk to people in real estate to be successful. If you want to sell real estate like Ryan Brantley does and like I do and things like that in the future. If you want to quit your job at Esplanade, you're going to have to learn to talk to people. You're going to have to talk to them on the phone. You're going to have to talk to them on Zoom. And certainly you're going to have to get in front of them when they want to meet with you, whether it's at their dining room table as a listing agent, or if you're going to be showing them property, doing a buyer's consultation, you have to get them to buy into Laura and say, this lady knows what she's talking about. In fact, me as a buyer or as a seller, I'm going to be worse off if I don't sign her commitment letter, if I don't follow through with her, than I would either on my own or with another realtor or whatever. So they have to have that amount of buy-in in you. And so this is kind of the first step, and it's just a growth. There is no, everybody here is licensed, right? That does not prepare you for sales. It just doesn't, right? So you're going to have to, you're doing the right things, and the only way to do it is to start calling people. And the truth is, these are online leads for the most part, Laura. I mean, there's nothing they can really say to hurt you. There's nothing they can really say, even if they hang up on you or swear at you. I've had it all happen to me, and there's not a lot they can do. So good for you. You're doing the right stuff, and absolutely, keep it up. And I know you're working with Ryan and stuff like that. So, well, cool. That's awesome. Anybody have any feedback for Laura? Questions?
I just wanted to say,
Laura, go ahead.
Laura, I just wanted to commend you on like you calling like before, during work, because I know a lot of us still have full-time jobs, and you inspired me to kind of get onto cold calling, because that's something I've been slacking on. So yeah, I just wanted to say kudos and thanks.
Sweet, thank you. I'm trying. Gotta call Thomas and Tatiana Myers though, ASAP.
Nick, what's going on, man?
I'm also looking to buy a property September timeframe. And Laura, I was wondering because I bank with Suncoast as well. Did you happen to ask if they would be willing to lend on appraisal value versus, because if you buy the property under value, and seeing if they will actually provide the loan at the appraisal value, so you can kind of get equity in between there. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and that's what this guy does, and he uses that loan money. He has the ability to take the difference from what he purchased to what the loan is, and that's what he uses to rehab his properties. Does that make sense?
So are they willing here? I'll frame it up a little bit. Are they willing to lend on the AVR, after repair value of the property, right? The property needs repairs. It's not at total market value because who knows? It needs a roof, needs new bathrooms, new kitchens, but location's good, blah, blah, blah. So you can do two valuations on that property, what it's worth if I buy it right now from the seller and what it's going to be worth after all the work's done, like Nick's talking about. So it's ARV. Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask them about any of that. I just did simple basics. It would be 5% down. And then we did, you would obviously have the private mortgage insurance required because you wouldn't be putting 20% down, but I was just trying to, what is the minimal amount of money that I could get to get myself going? Like, so I wrote down all the steps and just getting my ducks in a row.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing, and this is, again, maybe talk to Thomas about this, but like one thing you might want to consider is not using a bank. When I'm listening to these podcasts about people who have been successful starting out, and this is what they do, they start out so small. I mean, they take a $3,000 piece of property. They go in there, them and their brother with a chainsaw, they improve it, and they put a fence up or something, and then they sell it for $10,000, and they're using their license, right? And then they take the profit, and then they go use that as the down payment for their next property. But don't forget about seller financing. okay? And, you know, there's a lot of people right now that are ready to hit the cash register on Florida real estate. I'm talking about absentee owners and people that have, you know, either estate properties, things like that. If you can find the right person and you say, hey, I'll give you the entire list price, okay? I'll give you all of your money. But what I need to do first is I need to fix it up, and you've been unwilling to fix this property up, but I can do it, okay? And their approval process is much lower bar than a bank, a financial institution. And you say, well, how about I give you X amount of dollars? We're going to actually formally close on the property, put the property in my name, and then I'm going to improve it, and I'm going to make payments to you, and you're going to be the bank. And once, you know, and then we're going to do let's call it a 24-month balloon payment. So the amortization schedule, for instance, would be on a 30-year mortgage. So you can do the amortization schedule, so you're not paying a 24-month loan, you're paying it on a 30-year amortization. And then you do, you know, payment number 25 is for the balance of the loan, and you better acquire that property, get your contract years in there, make sure permitting doesn't go, you know, it's all going to line up, and then the seller gets paid, you know, in installments, and with a little bit of a nice friendly, you know, agent friendly realtor interest rate, maybe 3%. I'm going to give you 3%. You propose that, you negotiate it, and then when you sell the property, you pay the seller off, and you make the profit, you make the margin. So don't forget about that. You got to talk to a lot of people, though.
That's true. Lots of people to talk to.
You got to talk to people. You got to find the right people.
Yep.
There's probably, here's Nick. I'm sorry if I stole your thing, but the property that I'm talking about, the one that gets you going and is real, it's probably not in the MLS.
Agreed. For investment properties, it's hard to find things like that. That's why I was asking about it, because I follow like wholesaler threads, and I get emails all the time, guys that already found the property, and it's at a significant drop of what it's actually worth. And when I listened to that podcast the other day, it's a really, really, really good idea, because it gives you like a security blanket. Because if something happens or you can't flip the house in time, at least you have a chunk of equity already in the property, and then that could potentially be enough of what you need to do to fix it up. So I was just, he had, I think he said something on the lines that he called like 100 banks, and he resides in Alaska. And this is where he does his business, but the bank that does the loans is in like some small town in Iowa, and he's been using them forever, and that's what he continues to use. So I don't know how big Suncoast is, but normally smaller credit unions have a little bit more flexibility with things like that. So I was just curious. Might be worth an ask next time you go in there, just to see what they say.
Hey, Laura, have you spoken to any investors?
No, I have not. I don't know how to really get to those investors. Yes, how would I get to those investors? I don't know where to find them.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, I know that Bigger Pockets. Have you ever heard of that app, Bigger Pockets?
Nope. Bigger.
Yeah, there's a lot of investors. People give you ideas and tips.
Okay, that's awesome.
All right, so this is good. Laura, if you're going to enter the world of flipping houses,
yes.
I'm going to agree with Melissa. What Melissa's getting at is you have to be obsessed with this, right? When you're not making calls on your 45-minute drive to your 9-to-5 job, when you're not making phone calls, you should be listening to podcasts like Bigger Pockets and listening for all of they're just putting this information out there. It's there for anybody, and it's really valuable. So thank you, Melissa, for bringing that up. That's a good point. Your brain should be full of all these different ideas.
Yep.
Yes, of course.
Cool. Laura, how you feeling? Good? All right, Nick, what's going on, man? What's going on in your world? What's good? What's bad? You're gonna have a buyer cancel today. I know it.
She canceled yesterday, but yeah.
You did?
It's yeah, but it's okay. I know she's really not ready because she doesn't have the pre-approval process even done. And she sends me probably a house once a week saying that she wants to look at it. And then normally the day before she cancels. I think this is like the second time, but it's kind of how internet leads work. You just gotta keep after them. I've had about 5 people register on my site to do the home evaluation. And so right now I'm starting the campaigns on them, getting in contact. I've been texting one guy back and forth, but what he's asking for and his price range is at this time is not going to happen because he wants like a 3-car garage in a up and coming area, but only wants to spend like $250,000. And the best I was able to find him were all new builds, and they were like 330 or 350. And he said to keep his eye out, so I'll keep looking for him. And then
Nick, you got to get in front of them. I mean, I feel like I keep saying the same things over and over, man. You like if your instinct is that he will be a house, that you're letting a 3-car garage stand between you and a relationship and a paycheck. Okay, his experience is way different. You're not an MLS search. Your value is so much more than just an MLS search. You need to get in front of him, build a relationship, have a coffee with him, whatever it is, and just really get to the root of what he's trying to accomplish. The 3-car garage is he's just throwing this out there because it's on his wish list. That's not the thing. He's not buying a 3-car garage. And so then you do a search and you say, well, sir, that's not really realistic. We got to look over here and we got to look over there, and this is the best that I got. And now he's going to go somewhere else. You're not solving his problem.
yeah. Well, I was trying to set reasonable expectations off of that.
Yeah.
And
Do it in person. Do it in person.
A few times and then it's just getting.
I got bad audio.
Huh?
I said I've got bad audio. Anybody else?
Yeah, I only hear like every 5th word that you're saying. I don't know if it's my end or not.
Really? Oh no.
Nick, I think because you started to get like pixelated a little bit on my end.
My internet shut off. That's why I had to leave, and I'm going off my hotspot on my phone right now. So it's probably my end. But anywho, I have a few.
You
more.
can dial.
I just gotta get. Continue. What's that?
I think it'd be better if you dial in, Nick. Like I actually had to dial in because my audio is not working either. I mean, we can't see you anyway, but maybe just remove the computer audio and just dial in. I think it's going to be better. Anyway, whatever works for you. But go ahead. I'm sorry. You're right. It's hard to get people to even answer their phone. It's hard to get people.
Is this better?
What did you do?
The internet came back on.
All right. Yes, I think that's better.
Better.
Okay. Yeah. So me, it's a follow up. I got to continue to do that and keep pushing for in-person meetings. But with a lot of these coming off the website, I'm having a hard time keeping constant contact with these people. So I don't keep with the drip campaigns and then doing that, and then just keep trying to set appointments, but I don't want to get to the point where I'm getting annoying, you know? That's where I think I struggle with the most, because I don't like when people bug the shit out of me for things. And then I kind of, when I'm not getting responses, that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing.
You want to know what's annoying? Working with a shitty realtor is annoying.
Yeah.
So what's this guy's name that you're afraid of bugging?
Jose Marengo.
Jose. So if you don't do your job and follow up with him, Nick, he's gonna get a shitty realtor. And then he's gonna end up with, I don't know, name your thing. He's gonna end up with a leaky roof, or he's gonna end up in the wrong neighborhood, or he's gonna end up buying at the wrong time. And so when you're choosing not to follow up with him, what you're really saying to Jose is, I don't really care about you. And you got to stop taking it personally that he doesn't call you back. Jose is busy. He's got kids. He's got animals. He's got all sorts of things going on in his life. And the truth is that the timing, you cannot control the timing of when he's going to be ready. But if you do not continue to reach out to him, you're doing a huge disservice to him, and you're doing a disservice to your family, because you spent a lot of time in real estate.
Okay. So that's where I'm at. So I just need to
I hear you.
be better at it.
Keep calling. Text. Call twice. What happens when you call somebody twice? They say, oh, shoot, that must be important. It's the same number twice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One more thing. Okay. Who's the guy with the 3-car garage? What's his name?
Mel.
Mel. All right. Will you please play Mel, and I'll play Nick McKeon? How about that?
Okay.
Ready? I'm going to call
Yeah.
you. Ching, ching, ching.
What?
I'm calling your phone. Hello.
How's it going?
Mel, what's going on?
Not much. Just on my lunch break. What are you up to?
Yeah, Mel, thanks for taking my call. I know you're on your lunch break and you're probably busy. This is Nick McKeon. I'm with eXp Realty. I don't know if you remember getting on my website, last week. Do you remember, Mel?
Can't really hear you.
Is he frozen?
Oh no, he's frozen. That was going so good. Ready for it.
Looks like a mannequin.
Okay, let's keep this going. Alicia, you're going to be Mel. Ready?
Wait,
Unrealistic expectations.
I have this 3-car or I want to agree.
Yeah.
3.
Yes, we're going to keep this going. All right. Ready? I'm calling you right now.
Okay.
Say hello.
Hello?
Hello. Is Mel available?
Yes, hey, it's Mel.
Oh, good afternoon, Mel. This is Doug DeGroat. I'm with eXp Realty. Do you have a few minutes to talk to me?
You know what? Yeah, I have about 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes. Fantastic. Good thing I only need about 4. So I just want to follow up with you, Mel. You actually visited my website just last week. Do you remember looking at some homes on the computer?
I've been looking at so many different websites. But yeah, I think I filled out some sort of home valuation form.
Cool. Awesome. What are your favorite websites?
I'm on Zillow every day and just
Yeah.
Google search.
The what?
Occasional Google search.
Oh, just a regular Google search. You look for homes on Google, and then you also like Zillow, huh?
Yes, I love Zillow.
Good. What do you like about Zillow, Mel?
I like the fact that you can kind of just go into the map and see what's in your area, and it's easy. It's right there on my phone.
It's right there. They got an easy app. That's awesome. Yeah, Zillow has a great, what we call consumer-facing website, don't they? So really easy to use. Well, cool. So when you go on Zillow, Mel, what are you looking at right now?
Man, you know, I'm having a really hard time finding a 3-car garage.
Oh, a 3-car garage.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I like my 3-car garage because I'm from Wisconsin and I'm used to having a basement. You know, we always had a basement growing up, and my dad would throw the Christmas decorations down there and all the other stuff, furniture that we were using and stuff like that. And it would just, so when we bought our house, I had to have a 3-car garage because where else are you going to put your stuff? What's important about you getting a 3-car garage, Mel?
I want a home gym.
You want a home gym? Yeah. Awesome. I love it. So now a garage is almost typically, it's not going to be air conditioned. It's not going to have carpeting, you know, probably a cement floor, right?
Yeah.
That sound about right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So your home gym, you prefer that in what we call under roof, right? A garage is under roof, but it's not air conditioned. Would you prefer to have that in a garage instead of, say, a different area of the house?
Yeah, you know, I guess I never thought about that. I didn't think of adding an extra bedroom. I thought it would kind of bring the cost up a little bit more.
Okay, gotcha. But having a home gym is super important to you and your lifestyle. Is that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, but as much as you would like a 3-car garage, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I'm wrong, you know, 100 times a day. But you could also get a 2-car garage home as long as it had space to put your home gym in there.
Yeah, I guess so.
That would work. Cool. So, well, tell me about some of the other things you're looking for in a house. Let's shorten this up, okay? And so then you take it there, and you know, Nick, I'm not trying to come after you here, but when you just take what they say and you start typing it into the MLS and you say, okay, 3-car garage under 250 in Plant City, I've got one property for you, Mel. I've got one. And guess what? That was built in 1937 and needs about $100,000 worth of work right now. So, Mel, now that I've told you there's nothing for you to buy, when's the next time that we can have a great conversation?
Now that there's nothing to buy?
Now that I just typed in the MLS, 3-car garage in Plant City under 250, and I got one result. I'm willing to send that to you, but you're not going to like this one because it's not really what you're looking for. But this fits your criteria. So there's one property. This is going to be a really tough one, blah, blah, blah. And so when's a great time for us to do the next thing? Not really, huh?
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
I need more options.
Yeah, I'll call you. How about that, yeah. Mr. MLS Search? I'll call you, okay? So, you know, you got to dig a little bit deeper, and you got to figure out if Mel's a real buyer. If I ask the questions and Mel becomes a real buyer, my only goal is to get in front of him. That's it. That's my only goal. And I don't care how I do it. If he wants one free showing at one property and he's not pre-approved, then he gets one free showing on my time, when it's convenient to me. If he agrees to meet for coffee, great. And I come prepared with a folder and things that set expectations for him about what it looks like to work with me. Okay. But what we're not, and it feels like I'm coming after Nick, but this is not about Nick. This is about our instinct is to solve people's problems. And what we think we're doing that with is with the MLS. Well, guess what? Mel can use 3-car garage search on Zillow just like anybody else. And he can find out that there's not really a market for it anyway. I got to get this, but you guys can listen. Actually, it's going to click off.
Is Nick still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to ask you a question. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. The way I would approach it, I would definitely interview him, like ask him, like, what's his must-have? Like, what would, what's like his wish and what's his must-have in a home? Like what are the features that he must have in a home that would break the sale? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So when we talked about it, we were text messaging back and forth for, I don't know, probably 10 or 12 messages from each of us. And he gave me a bunch of areas that he wanted. He gave me the square footage that he wanted. He gave me the year, said 2005 or newer. And he said the 3-car garage thing. So I started looking for things. And then I didn't really find anything. So I was asking him, like, I can't find the message thread, but I said finding something with the 3-car garage there's not a whole lot of them right now. And I talked about having more land where he could add something. And then he said that he's living in a house with an oversized 2-car. And he says, he specifically said a 3-car is a must.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's where I'm at. He works in trades, so he has a bunch of tools and he needs a place to store them. And what I gathered, having just room to have a shed wasn't secure enough for him because he doesn't want to put all this high-dollar stuff in just a shed. And he said specifically, I want a 3-car garage.
Is he willing to do like new construction homes or no?
That was the last thing I talked to him. I'm still waiting on a response, and that was yesterday. So I already written down on my calendar to give him a call tomorrow morning because he normally goes into work around 9. So I was going to call him at 8, and then I'll probably push a little bit harder to actually set an appointment with him so I could get, like Doug is telling me on a regular basis, to get in front of people and go from there. And then, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good.
To kind of
Yeah, we didn't have the whole story, did we? No, go ahead. You guys were doing. Actually, keep this going. Use the bathroom.
Well, Nick, all I was going to say was just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying is even if like you can't find anything, I think it's super important to just set up like a day of showing with him, because then people start to get more serious once they start stepping foot into a house. Like everyone in their head has a must have, but then once they start looking and they start seeing for themselves and start seeing, you know what, maybe my must haves isn't possible. Maybe I need to rearrange, you know, what I think my must has is. And then they start to change it. And you're able to do that without you saying, oh, there's nothing on the market like that. Because no one wants to hear that. But if you're actively already like saying, hey, why don't we just go see a couple things that I think might work? And if he's willing to just go a couple places, then that's when he starts to get serious and will, you know, I feel like his mind might change. And then you might learn other things about him and his families and his true must-haves, because right now he's really thinking just about his tools, but I don't know if he has a family or, you know, anything else. And people start to talk when you're going out on showings. You know, Nick, you've been on so many showings this past week, but they just continue to talk, and then you're just like, huh? You learn more about it. Then you create that rapport, you create that relationship, and then they don't want to turn you down. Now when you're calling, he wants to pick up your call because he's met you in person. So it's a little bit different. So I don't know. I was just gonna say, I think it's super important if you can even just get him on a couple showings, even if it's not what is his ideal. I think it's still worth it.
Yeah, I just need to sit down and actually talk to him and get a better lay of what else he needs, and then, like you said, even just show him something, because seems like this is where I always get stuck.
Well, it seems to me it's not what he needs, it's like what he wants right now. It's not a necessity, because there's different alternative to store tools. Like, is he willing like to have a property that there's a shed in the back, an ample shed, and maybe he could put his tools back there or whatnot. Just, I guess, try to be creative and just interview him more, That's what I would do if I was in your situation. I'll ask a lot of questions. Doug knows
like
I ask so many questions.
They start changing their mind. My last closing that I just had, the house that they closed on, it was new construction of Lennar. The first time they went into it, they hated it. They were like, this is not my dream home. I don't want this. And then after they kept seeing more and more, and they started realizing, what's truly in my budget, their mind starts to change. And then lo and behold, we closed on a house that when we first saw it, it was a complete no. And then it just, at the end of the day, they ended up there anyway. So sometimes just kind of just going through the emotions with your buyers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point, Alicia. Nick, I think I shared, does that sound similar to a story that I shared with you? Didn't I share that with you? What I'm referring to, I can't, I told Nick, but I had a buyer, they were up in Odessa area, and he needs to spend, doctor problems, but his accountant told him, his accountant and his attorney told him, hey, you've got to protect your personal assets in case somebody tries to sue you. You can protect up to $500,000 in your assets with your homestead. And he was renting a condo or something. So he says, so I got it as a referral. He's like, I need to spend $500,000 on a house. He lives by himself, but that's what his attorney told him. So tough problem to have, right? So we ended up seeing properties for 3 months together. And the first property we ever saw together, so we ended up seeing, I don't know, say, call it 15, 20 homes, whatever it is, right? He ends up buying the first property we ever saw together. It had expired off the market, been relisted with another agent, but he ended up buying that. I showed him the perfect home on day one, the first time we walked in there, okay? But since he didn't know the market, he did not know the market yet. He had no idea that it was the perfect home. He didn't know. So sometimes I'll be jumping up and down saying, what do you mean you're not going to buy this house? I see the market every single day. I'm in a lot of houses. Like, this is a great value, and they're just not ready because they haven't gone through the process. And there's things we can say, but mostly they just need to go through it for the most part. So, and that sounds similar to Alicia's story. Yeah.
Like right now, I have a buyer that I got her approved, and she's so particular. And I was taking her everywhere, and now it's just like, well, I don't see anything I like right now, so I'm just gonna wait a little bit longer, because she's renting a home right now, and her lease is up in June. So we're in February. So what do I do now? I follow up with her, and I ask her, I was like, hey, did anything appeal to you with, the houses that I've sent you? She's like, no, not right now. So even though we're in February, we're close to March now, and her lease is up in June, what do I do?
What do you do with what?
Do I still bother her, or do I still follow? I still follow up with her, but not as much, because she hasn't really found a house that's appealing to her.
So the truth is, if she found a house that's appealing to her right now, if she's not willing to make both a mortgage payment and a lease payment, then she shouldn't be looking all that seriously at the market. She should be looking at the market in the eyes of getting to know the market online. But you kind of got to back into her closing date, and you got to say, and this is all about interviewing and questions and buyer consultations. Like, tell me a little bit about your lease. Well, a lot of times what I'm hearing about leases is, well, my lease is up at the end of June. Okay. So what happens if you don't buy your house by the end of your lease term? Well, they'll allow me to go month to month, but my rent goes up by $300 a month, and I really don't want to do that. That's just blah, blah, blah. Or they won't do month to month. They'll just ask me to renew for 12 months, and so I have to be out. So knowing that information is super valuable, because if she's willing to do a couple of months at an extra $300, that totally changes, the way that we're going to do this. If she is in an emergency must close by the end of June buyer, then you better believe that you're out there from May 1st and May 15th, running around seeing all the best homes as they come on the market and making offers on them. Okay. And the other thing that people don't realize, because most, especially Melissa, is your client a first-time home buyer?
No, she's from Ohio and she just moved to Florida not so long ago.
Okay. But one thing you might want to remind her, if she doesn't remember this, is that her first mortgage payment is due after 30 days after she closes. And it's always after 30, it's more than 30, less than 60. Okay. So if she moves in, let's just say she closes, she says, well, it's got to line up with the end of June. And so if I were her agent, what I would tell her is, hey, just remember that if you close any time after June 1st, between June 1st and the end of June, your first mortgage payment's not due until August 1st.
Yeah, she's aware of that. And I spoke to her about that, about her leasing agreement, and if she finds the perfect home now, is she willing to make an offer now, or is it that we're gonna have to wait till her lease is actually close to her expiration? And she told me that she doesn't mind paying rent and an actual mortgage if she does find the right home sooner than later.
Right. So there's absolutely no reason to run around and using up your gas, because she's not a February or a March buyer. She is a May buyer. She's pretty much a May buyer through and through. And so, Melissa, your follow-up with her is you want to make sure she's looking at the market so she gets an idea of what's out there. You can put her on an auto drip on the MLS. Awesome. But your follow-up has very little to do with what you're sending her. Okay? You're going to follow up with her, and you're going to, again, if she was my client or if she was my potential client, she would have gotten a Valentine's card from me on the 14th. She would be getting a follow-up postcard once a month from me. I try to find out, I'd be friends with her on Facebook. And if she has a birthday, I would call her on her birthday or send her a gift. Okay? There's no reason for me to talk about what's actually going on in the real estate market, because, unless she wants to bring it up, but she's at least 60 days away from looking at active properties and getting, what I like to call it kicking indoors. She's about 60 days away from kicking indoors, 60 to 70. Okay. So you need to love on this woman.
Oh, I have a good rapport with her. I call her and say, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? Just following up with you. And, because she's new in town, I'm like, oh, have you tried this place? Because it was actual referral from someone that I knew. So I'm just keeping it, friendly right now, because I don't want her to go to a different realtor. So that's why I'm following up with her, just building a rapport with her. But that's where I'm at now. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to call her too much. I've been following up with her every 2 weeks or so.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this is a pipeline person, and I hope you have a good way of keeping track of who's where in the pipeline. But you know once you know her time frame, you know when you need to. There's going to be a time where if you haven't talked to her, you're going to call her every single day, and that's right around May 1st. You're going to call her every single day and make sure she's still on track and nothing for her, and make sure. I don't know if she's been pre-approved. Like, you're going to get her with a lender, absolutely. And until that time, until May 1st, you're dripping on her a little bit with a text message, a phone call here and there, and you need to go find your next buyer because she's a June paycheck. But my assumption is that you want a May paycheck and an April paycheck, and you know what, a March paycheck wouldn't be that bad either. So
I have a March paycheck coming up soon. I'm waiting for a closing. Yay! And
is that new construction?
Yeah, the new construction.
Good.
That, and I have a potential buyer. So I've been following up with them because they went on my Facebook, because I did some advertising on Facebook like a few months back. I put like, homes in Florida with a pool, 250 with a pool, So I guess they were interested with that.
I'll buy it. You find that, I'll buy it right now.
And then they were looking into it. So they're like, okay, browsing, and I see activities on my KV Core. So I'm like, okay, so he's definitely looking into homes. I see activities, and I see people, checking out my website. I'm bringing a little bit of traffic. So I'm like, oh, okay, perfect, yay. But they don't leave their phone number. I only have their email.
Very good. All right, Adriana, what's going on?
Hey, sorry I'm not on video. I'm actually heading to Hudson to meet my dad. Just been busy, just getting into the transaction coordinating thing, and just I have about 5 contracts with her right now. It's so crazy, like, doing that. You don't realize like how much you actually learn about like the whole process. So I'm actually really happy that I decided to go through it, because there's just so much that I'm learning that I didn't even know, because obviously I used her for my last deal. So, you know what I mean? So yeah. It's been a little hectic trying to figure out everything, but it's great learning everything at the same time.
Hey, wait, I'm going to be Alicia. I'm sorry. I'm going to be Adriana for 1 second. Hey, Adriana. Hey, Alicia. Hey, Laura. Hey, Doug. I just want to thank you for advising me correctly and telling me what I needed to hear 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Right? All right.
You are.
Sometimes it takes a community to bring this in this. So what's going on, Cherie and Ali, is that, and I don't know if everybody else is here, but Adriana's a real estate agent in our mentorship program, but she was offered a position with what's called transaction management. So she joined a transaction manager in a capacity, and she is managing other realtors' transactions from the moment they go under contract until closing. Okay, and that means talking with title companies and homeowners associations and lenders and realtors and listing agents and buyers agents and all that stuff, and setting the big portion of the job, setting expectations, making sure everybody knows timelines and all that stuff. So we're very proud of Adriana, and she is learning a ton. And our team, the Growth Group, just hired Adriana to do all of our transactions going forward. So we are supporting you, and we're excited I'm mostly excited to provide better service for my buyers and my sellers. That's what I'm excited about. And I know you and what's the woman, your boss, Amanda, right? You
Yeah.
and Amanda are going to help us. You're going to do a better job at managing the transaction than we are. So we're excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really good. And honestly, like, it's weird because as I'm like, doing everything, it's actually kind of giving me a little bit more confidence, like speaking about the contract. So not just like the transaction coordinating and management that I'm doing with, my agents, but also when I actually do really dive into real estate, it gives me like that backing, like I have that extra knowledge, like I do know what I'm talking about,
Right. Cool. So the big question is, when are you going to quit your other job?
So I think when I get to 10 transactions and can completely manage everything myself, which I only have 5 right now, but literally I started with her like last week and I already have 5. So I don't
Very
think it'll
long,
be
is it?
Huh?
Nope, it's not going to take very long.
No. So, and obviously she's kind of like going in the back of me and like making sure I'm doing everything correctly and just kind of overseeing everything I'm doing. So I think once I get to like at least 10, 15-ish transactions and I'm literally running them and like completely by myself and I have like that, like I continuously see them coming in, I think that's when I will make the break.
Cool. I'm excited for you. Very excited. How awesome. Wow. Yep. Well, cool. All right. I want to hear from Cherie and Ali. I want to learn a little something about you. We don't, we're over time right now, but I want to hear a little from you. Did you learn anything today? Are you excited? Does this sound too intimidating? Anything you want to talk about, but I'd love for you to, you've gotten to listen here for an hour. Tell us something.
I guess I'll go first. Yeah, this was extremely helpful. I when I got the link from you guys, I think it was yesterday, and I did get your call, but I figured since I was gonna plan to come today, then I would follow up with you after the meeting. Everything was helpful. My background is right now, I'm an insurance adjuster. I've been in finance working with Schwab and T. Rowe Price. So that's kind of like what I've done the majority of my career life, adulthood, whatever you want to call it. But my husband is he's a painting contractor. So he does residential, commercial painting. He owns the business and he's done it for the last about 5 years. So I've been around real estate agents heavily, I would say, in the last 2 years. I've really, we deal with people that just bought homes, that are trying to sell their homes, that are acquiring properties. We deal with so many people. And I think from the process, from his perspective, it's always been so interesting to me. So I knew I wanted to do it. I just needed to get the time and the energy to take the plunge, but I want to do this full time. But of course, I'm not in the place to quit my job just yet. I do want to eventually dibble and dabble into acquiring our own properties, buying and holding, not necessarily flipping. But that's not my focus right now. My focus is to kind of become a really good agent, whatever that is. Whatever I need to do to get to that place first. So that's kind of my background. As far as what I learned today, like I said, everything was really helpful, but the seller financing that you were talking about was really interesting. I had already started listening to Bigger Pockets, so that podcast is amazing. And then I heard you guys talking about the leads coming from the website and the drip campaigns. So my goal is to just go back to take a deeper dive into what those things are. and then focusing on my trainings right now. And I'm meeting with Tatiana actually Friday. So I'm excited about that as well.
Cool. Very good. Let me ask a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Do you help? So you're an insurance adjuster, right?
Mhm.
And you work from home?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. And then do you help your husband with his painting business?
Yes, I do the bookkeeping, the accounting, the back office. Well, my brother is an accountant, so everything is in the family, but we do all the books and I speak with the clients in that piece.
Cool. Awesome. How long has he been a painter?
Oh, he's been a painter for about 15 to 20 years. We've only owned the business about 5 years.
You've owned the business about 5 years. Okay.
Mhm.
So he's had it for about 5 years. Okay. How many homes do you think he paints every month? You just
We're
had to
about
guess.
about 4 residential homes a month,
Mhm.
3 to 4.
Mhm. Okay. So three to four residential homes a month under his, he's the business. So let's call it 3. So about 36 properties a year he's painting. Is that about right?
Yeah.
So times 5 years is 100. It's 180 people that he's serviced with his painting business. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. And since you're keeping the files and you're keeping the books, does he do a good job of kind of keeping some of the contact information, addresses, emails, and phone numbers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So my question to you, Cherie, is what do you think would happen to your real estate business over the next 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, 36 months? So that's 3 years. If every single one of these 180 people knew that you could help them with real estate, buy side, sell side, in Florida, outside of Florida, commercial real estate, residential real estate, vacant land, all of it, what would happen to your business if this number of people knew they already know you, like you, trust you. They know you, like you, trust your husband. You're part of their world. They don't have to build a relationship with you. What would happen, do you think?
I'm hoping the same thing that happens with my husband.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my hope. That's my goal.
Did you have this idea before I said it?
Absolutely. That's why it's been so like pressing on me, is because it's no reason that I can't be successful. It's unless I just don't do anything.
Okay. So you need to continue to do training, Cherie, but what you really need to do is, and I don't know, maybe you're like super organized, is you need to find those 180 contacts. You need to what's called append the data. So if one of these people has moved, then you want to find their new address, and you basically want to break it down into bite-sized pieces and get the 180 list. That's the number, 180, and you want to just maybe send. Well, it depends on how aggressive you want to be, but say you were going to send 20 handwritten note cards per month. I'm sorry, per week. Per week. I didn't say month. So Cherie, you say it's not real long, but you go get note cards, and if you want to brand them to yourself, you can. But they're professional, and it's just a single note card. And then if you have one of these, you're going to put that in the note card like that, right? And you're going to say something like, what's your husband's name?
Anthony.
Anthony and I enjoyed working with your family in 2016 when we painted your house. I wanted to let you know that I'm a licensed realtor and I partnered with EXP. Please let me know if there's anyone that you know that needs real estate services. And then if you put that in there, right? But then if you want to go get one of these, this is even better. This is a magnet business card, okay? The magnet, so this goes on your fridge, okay? So they get this from you, okay? And then the next thing is you follow up with a text message or even a phone call if you feel comfortable, and you just follow up and you say, hey, I just want to make sure you got my note card. That's it. And then hopefully they hear from you once a month for until the end of time, until they buy or die or tell you to take a hike to be nice. So there's only 3 ways they get off my drip, okay? This cost me about $1 a month, okay? And there's only 3 ways my people get off my drip, is if they buy from another realtor, if they pass away, or if they swear at me over the phone and use bad language, okay? And so I think one of the first budget line items in your marketing should be, well, go get note cards and magnet business cards and start reaching out to people, phone, text, all that, but they get to do this. And then $180 a month approximately should be spent on making sure that they know you're in the business. And my card, name on it.
Okay.
Or their daughter's name or their dog's name or something. And each one's different, right? This one says Lydia, and this one says Hyde. That's their last name. See that?
Oh, wow.
And then this is a magnet, and this says February. So they're going to get a calendar from me every single month with their name on it. Okay? That's it. Now you've got a real estate business.
Got you.
Can you write down that link where you have your calendars, where you obtain your calendars?
Sensations.com.
Sensation.com.
Alicia can send it out to the group. She'll put the link in Workplace. You got that? Oh, and Ali had to go. We were going to go to her.
I know. I feel bad. I wish she would have went first.
No way. It's okay, because you know what? She probably learned something. And Ali could probably do the same thing with her church. And she could probably say, well, how many people do I know at my church? How many people do I know by name? How many people do I know by face or whatever? And do the exact same thing. And make sure that they know you're in business. Now, I think this is where realtors get in their own way. Well, I don't want to bother them. They probably don't need to sell their house. Their house is gorgeous. Why would they move? Why would they move? I'm asking them to sell their house. No, you're not. You're not asking them to sell their house. You don't want them to sell their house. You don't want them to move out of state. What you're saying is, I'm a professional. I'm in this business. If you want to acquire investment property, if your sister wants to move here from New York, if your neighbor is talking about selling their property and they don't want to use the agent they use, or whatever the situation, I'm here on your fridge every single month. And when you're ready to give me a referral, or if you have a real estate need within your family, I hope you reach out to me.
Makes sense.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. That's all I got, unless somebody else has something else. Sure, you got to keep training, and 180.
Sounds good.
You have the best database because they already know who you are. Now you got to remind them and train them, and you will. But yeah. Melissa, does this sound a little bit familiar?
It does. It does. My husband, he does cabinetry. So he's always in someone's house. So I'm always bothering him like, hey, you need to, pass out my my business cards to them, let them know that your wife does no, don't do that. Okay.
No, you don't. No, you don't. That is not what I'm training. And that is not what I've ever told you to do, Melissa.
No,
is to have your husband. That is not what I asked you to do. I asked you to get your database from your husband's business and to do this program. That is different than asking your husband to pass out a business card. A business card is passive. It requires the client to reach out to you, and there's nothing personal about it.
I know. That's why I was
Melissa,
asking you about that website.
I'm sorry?
That's why I was asking you about the website where you got your calendars, because I think I should start doing that.
Okay. I think before you do a calendar, I think you have to handwrite them a note. And you're basically saying to them, you're telling them why they're going to receive mail, right? We enjoyed you, blah, blah, blah. It was nice doing business with you in the past. Here's my next venture. Anthony's still painting houses. He's great at that. He's going to continue, and you don't have to say all that, but like, this is the messaging, right? And Nick wrote a bunch of these to his neighbors around Christmas time, and he dropped them and his hand started to hurt. So you're going to have to make it concise, all the messaging, right? But basically it's, hey, we're right here and we're here to help, and that's it. And you got to start with a handwritten letter and something personal, and then you handwrite the address on the outside. That's why you're only doing 10 to 20 a week, because it's going to be a lot, So, yeah.
Quick question. So you think I should introduce myself as, hey, this is Melissa, Rafael Crespo's wife, yada, yada. Okay.
Yep. That's exactly right. Man, if my wife owned a painting business or a cabinet business, and my wife wanted to continue to grow that business and stay in touch with people, what I would do is I'd find something a little bit different than this, or maybe I'd look at Sensations and see if they could help me. But I would make this a 50-50 card. This is Cherie's real estate business with EXP, and it's Anthony's thriving painting business. And you guys can do all sorts of different stuff with this, whether it's coupons or just current events, or this I like because it just auto does it. I don't have to touch it. But Alicia, I get the A's mixed up. I'm sorry, Adriana. But she's doing more custom stuff for us that has more custom messaging for some of our database as well. So anyway, I'll stop talking about this. You think you need to be online? You need to be in front of people, and I believe you need to be in their mailbox. I really do. And it's a little bit more expensive most of the time, but it's more personal. And online, I mean, they're going to click on 7 different websites. So you better be fast and you better be good. You better be really good. Otherwise, you're like Doug and you're just flushing your money down the toilet when you go into online lead generation. I pulled all my marketing dollars out of online lead generation, and I'm doubling down on postcard messaging, marketing to different groups. So, all right, guys, that's it. I could talk forever. I appreciate you. And same time, same place next week.
Bye.
Later.